We have assisted a number of clients with the 11G to 12C upgrade, and a topic that comes up repeatedly is what has happened to Enterprise Manager. Quite simply, the Oracle Enterprise Manager database control that shipped with 10G and 11G no longer exists. It is actually removed from the database when you do the upgrade. The replacement for database control is Oracle Enterprise Manager Database Express, or of course Enterprise Manager Cloud Control. Now, Database Express is a pretty nice tool. It's a lightweight tool implemented as a servlet running within the database. It's always there. All you need to do is enable access to it. Cloud Control is a different matter. It's a big installation requiring a WebLogic server, a repository database, agents running on each managed machine, and implementing it is a major project requiring significant planning and resources. Cloud Control is simply too big for many smaller Oracle shops to consider. But Database Express is missing a lot of the functionality that you had in Database Control. So, what functionality is missing in 12C Database Express? Database Express, being implemented as a Java servlet, cannot do many things that were possible in the old Database Control. Database Control could manage ASM. You could configure RMAN backups and schedule them. You could do data pump jobs. It has an alert system, configurable metric thresholds. And provided you have Enterprise Manager and Diagnostics Pack, you could even email the alerts out. All these facilities are gone in Database Express once you do your upgrade. So we wrote our own tool, Alato, to make them available through an easy-to-use GUI. And we threw in some more things as well that Database Control never had. The ability to clone databases as a one-off job or to schedule. Notifications in Standard Edition. And, because we are Apex people, we threw in some Apex admin too. Alato provides all of this functionality, and we have plans for a whole lot more to come.